What is going on? It is your host Planet Raider coming at you with a mid-season video. Let's just jump right into it. The Raiders are disappointing. We're currently 2-6, and we just coming off a loss from the Jacksonville Jaguars where we blew a 17-point lead. Now the Raiders were going off in the first half. Carr threw for I think 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae had about 146 yards receiving, and then second half we come in. Defense obviously Swiss cheese. Offense can't put together a drive. We try to run the ball with Jacobs, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when the pass is working so well, why do you step away from that? That's just something I do not understand. Now, we have the Colts coming up this week. They just fired Frank Reich. I think a week before that, they fired their offensive coordinator. They also benched Matt Ryan, who was supposed to be their quarterback of the future, well, for at least the next 2 years. If you guys didn't know, Matt Ryan has a clause in his contract that says if he plays a certain amount of games, they pay him guaranteed money. So they're not going to pay him that money, and Matt Ryan is not going to play no more. It looks like the Colts are on full-on tank mode, so this should be an easy dub for the Raiders. We should go to 3-6 after this week. But also, the Saints were an easy dub for us, in my opinion. Also, the Jaguars were an easy dub for us, in my opinion. I do think the main issue has been on the defensive side of the ball, so let's get right into that. We do not have Nate Hobbs. He has been on IR. I think he comes back, if not this week, next week. But we have a guy named Maxx Crosby, and when you have a guy like that, you just cannot count the defense out. But one thing that I am concerned about is our secondary, which we have Rock Ya-Sin and Anthony Averett, Trayvon Moehrig. Once we get Nate Hobbs back, that'll solidify the secondary, I believe. And then our linebackers, I see a lot of good things from Blake Martinez, especially in this last game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I see him mostly as a run stopper right now, but I do know he does his Johnson coverage. Denzel Perryman, liability in coverage as always, because he's just too short. Let's just be real, but he's a very good run stopper. I didn't see Divine Diablo against the Jaguars, really. If you really want to put things together, it all starts in the interior defensive line. We have Maxx Crosby. We have Chandler Jones. Who is in the middle? I see a lot of Neil Farrell. I see some Bilal Nichols, and I see a lot of Andrew Billings, but none of these guys know how to get pressure. None of them. And when you don't have a guy who could cause pressure up the middle, it leaves Chandler Jones and Maxx Crosby out on the edges to dry. What do I think we need to do on defense? One, I think we need to blitz the quarterback way more often. And I'm not talking about blitzing Amik Robertson off the edge. I don't know why we're blitzing Amik Robertson when we have a guy like Jonathan Abrams. Jonathan Abrams, he's not going to play that enforcer role in your defense. You know, he hasn't laid a big hit in coverage since probably his rookie or his second year in the NFL. Just blitz him. That's all he can do for you at the end of the day. He is not going to get sticky in coverage. He's not going to lay a big hit on a wide receiver. He's not going to get you an interception. Blitz that man, please. Now, the trade deadline is over, so there's no chance of us going out and trading for a D-tackle. But we can still sign some guys. We can still sign an Ndamukong Suh. Do I think it's going to happen? No, probably not. But if we can go on a win streak and prove that we have the talent to win games when it matters, then maybe we go out and we get a guy. In my opinion, the season isn't over yet. You know, we're sitting at 2-6. After this week, we should be 3-6, and then we should go on and beat the Broncos. We should beat the Chargers. We should hopefully get one against the Chiefs, looking at how the Chiefs did against the Titans, and the Titans had zero offense. So don't count out the Raiders just yet. You know, if we lose this next game, we're for sure donezo. But if we win this game, and we could put up a win streak and get some more dubs, hopefully we can creep our way into the playoffs, and that's where we really explode and put the NFL on notice. At the end of the day, this team is only going to go as far as Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham takes us. Future's looking really bright. I know that's hard to say when we have a season like we do, but as always, it's your host, Planet Raider, and just win, baby.